Hi, I'm Frank Stanisci of Candid Frank. Live welcome to the Spanglish World Network on Zingo TV, channel 250. Please remember to download the Zingo TV app at the respective app stores for iOS and Android devices. While you download, make sure you rate and leave a comment, a good one we hope. Both apps are absolutely free. Zingo TV is available on Google Chromecast, Amazon Fire, Fire TV, Roku sticks, and also on all smart TVs 2016 forward. Now on Candid Frank Live, joining me, not Aaron William Freeland, he's still on vacay. We have the one and only Eduardo Harari. Eduardo, Mr. Spanglish Sports World.
Hi, Frank. How are you doing?
Not bad, not bad. Still working on my little projects here at the house, and it's getting tiring. Old people like me shouldn't do this kind of stuff, especially up and down in ladders. It's a knee
I told
knocker.
you it's not for us. That's why there is handyman out there that can do it.
Uh, I have to agree, but also a pensioner, and I got to speak to my boss about a raise.
Don't try it. Doesn't work. I tried that one.
Like I said, she's busy, huh? Okay, let's get to it, and we'll start with, of course, hockey in Canada. Of course, our favorite sport other than the Canadian Football League, but we can talk about the Canadian Football League as well. They're in the home stretch. The Argos were fortunate enough to win a football game. It looked like they were going to lose. They waited right to the very end to actually do something positive, and they did, and they ended up winning. It was kind of amazing, really.
Yeah, I wasn't very happy with our good friend, the quarterback.
Bethel Thompson.
Yes, I just didn't want to say the name. uh, he started like the first two possessions were turnovers, and that didn't pan out for me too well. And all and this is what I said also about, when they traded Arbuckle, I said they at least this guy was going forward trying to uh, run the ball a little bit more on the ground. Uh, he knew how to get out of that wonderful box and create plays. Oh, I don't see Bethel doing that. He steps into he likes to stay inside the box, and that comes.
Well, he's not a runner. He's not a runner. He's definitely not a runner. And then we've got BC and Hamilton. Hamilton, you want to talk about a quarterback that's improving. Masoli's improving. His team is improving, and I think the Argos have something to worry about.
Well, definitely. I mean, and let's be real. Hamilton always had Toronto's number for the last at least the last couple of seasons, and it's not going to be an easy challenge. I think that uh, it doesn't help. Most likely, we are going to be playing in Hamilton, which is that's another ordeal when we go there. But no, Masoli is doing a hell of a job. Like, I mean, you see the difference in strategies. The guy the guy plays with the team, doesn't play for himself.
A good player. In Winnipeg was having a tiny little nap while Montreal took over the game, and then all of a sudden, Winnipeg, the monster, woke up, and that meant a victory for Winnipeg, 31-21.
Well, with Winnipeg, you can never count them out. Uh, it's that type of a situation. Uh, Anyone who falls asleep on Winnipeg uh, turns out the loser. Montreal got very confident. Let's put it that way, and then they got the rude awakening.
Absolutely. And finally, the last game, Saskatchewan and Edmonton. Edmonton completely irritates the fans by not winning a single home game the whole season.
Well, I I I think the name suits them. Uh, they
The
are
Elk?
the Elks, as a slow animal.
Ah, okay. Can't make it across the road.
That's right.
Okay, let's go. Let's go to the other Canadian sport that we all know and love, and that, of course, is hockey. And Mr. Campbell, Player of the Week honors. He and Gibson, the Ducks goalie, along with Oiler forward Leon Draisaitl, Players of the Week. He has played really well. He hasn't been disappointing at all.
No, actually, he surprised me. Uh, I think that he's starting to realize his role very very effectively, and I think that the team is actually playing behind him for the first time in a long time.
Well, absolutely, absolutely. So Campbell tonight will be playing the LA Kings. The game will start about a half hour after the show's over. He'll be in goal on the opposite side. It'll be Quick. Quick is somebody that he admired and learned under and stayed quietly behind as the backup. Jonathan Quick is one of the best goalies of this era, and he had a chance. He had a front row seat to see the kind of goaltender he is. Tonight, he's going to be in the crease opposite of his, I guess, mentor, I guess is the best way to describe it. Should be an interesting game tonight with LA. Leafs are on a roll. Can they keep it going? LA is not a really, really, really good team, but you got to be careful.
And the interesting thing is that LA is better at home than on the road.
Well, this one's on the road. They're in Toronto, so
Yeah, so when it comes to the LA Kings, they will have to play very slick hockey if they want to win this one. They are playing in the home of probably the home of the best fans in the world, because that's the only thing that Toronto has that nobody else has. Whether they lose or they win, the Toronto Maple Leaf fans are the best in the world. They support that team like there is no tomorrow, and they make a lot of noise.
they sure
So,
do. Speaking of noise, the Big Five, and I went from the Big Four to the Big Five. I've added Riley now with his contract to Tavares, Matthews, Marner, and Nylander. They've been playing really well, and as long as they play as well as they can, they really don't need any help, do they?
If that's and it's great that you put the Big Five now, because it's easier to say than the Ultimate Four. But no, and that's what the glue has to be. If they continue to play the way they know how to play, and they play as a team, this team is unbeatable. Every analyst has said it over the past 3-4 seasons that this team is the best nucleus team on paper. It just it hasn't come about.
Absolutely. Yet. Going over to Montreal, the Montreal Canadiens, the news out there, the media is starting to get on Dominique Ducharme. His inability to adapt is causing his team to, hit some snags here. Apparently, he's somebody who's very stuck on his ideas and he's not willing to adapt. How important is it for a coach to take stock and decide maybe to make a couple of tweaks and a couple of minor changes moving along instead of sticking to his guns?
Look, we had that situation in Toronto before the current coach came into play, and I think that Montreal the Sharks needs to do a couple of changes, because he cannot let that franchise down, and particularly the players. They were contenders last year.
They made it to the Stanley Cup final, but they captured lightning in a bottle, and I guess it goes to show they proved the theory that anybody can win the Stanley Cup because of the fact of where they are today in this new season, how terribly they're playing. the team is much different, obviously, without their number one goaltender, their number one defenseman and captain. So it's got to be a little bit tough. The Ottawa Senators, they cancel Monday practice today after Connor Brown and Gambrell put in COVID protocols. So the COVID has entered into their world, and I wonder what's going to happen with the game against the Bruins. It'll be interesting, I suppose.
I wouldn't want to be without my best two players against the Bruins for any reason. But but that's another thing. It's like we keep saying, the idea that there is COVID rules to be followed. If they are not followed, this is what happens. And it's lucky that they don't have to postpone the game.
Yeah,
because that would be even worse.
Well, the NHL doesn't want to do any of that. That's for sure. The Calgary Flames. The reason for their success, I love reading the media. I love reading, fans and blogs and comments on the internet. And a lot of people are very happy with Daryl Suter's coaching system. It seems even the players, the team is buying in. This is a guy his second time around in Calgary. I guess you can go home again.
Yeah. Well, let's be frank.
Sure. Or candid.
Yeah, we can be candid as well. I don't know. This team is surprising me. It's really, really surprising me in the way they are playing. They are structured, and they have a vision in mind, and it's like they are unstoppable.
They sure can be. That's for sure. Speaking of unstoppable, McDavid and Draisaitl, they're the first teammates with 20 points in their first 10 games of a season since Lemieux, Jagr, and Francis. That would, of course, be the Pittsburgh Penguins back then. What do you think?
Well, it doesn't surprise me. It really doesn't surprise me. McDavid is a phenomenal player, and a great leader for that. A great leader as well in the clubhouse, and he can take anybody with him and make him better. So that two members of the same team are in that pace, it doesn't surprise me because of McDavid.
I think he gets a little more credit than maybe he deserves. Leon Draisaitl is a much better player than people give him credit. Yeah, he's leading the league in points, so it's not like he needs McDavid as bad as people make it sound.
No, I am not saying that he needs McDavid, but what I'm saying is that McDavid elevates the game.
He has more flash. He has more flash, no doubt about it. But I think Draisaitl's more of a meat and potatoes guy.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and to be the company of Jagr, it's a great company to be around.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially considering he's still playing.
Yeah.
So Draisaitl, as I mentioned earlier, he was one of the 3 stars of the week, along with Campbell and Gibson. The Vancouver Canucks, they won 6-3. Finally walking the talk. They finally deliver on the promise to perform. The Vancouver Canucks scored 6 goals on Sunday, including 2 in their much maligned power play in a 6-3 win against the Dallas Stars. A pretty good team, Eduardo. Good for Vancouver.
Definitely good for Vancouver. They have been very, very lacking when it comes to scoring. They have never given too much support to their goalies. So to see a Vancouver team come back, especially against the Dallas Stars, which I imagine the good old Spanish owner won't appreciate.
Of course not.
It's a great thing. But we'll see. Vancouver still has to prove and make the big game.
Absolutely. Just want to make sure people see the poppy. Don't forget, folks. pay respect to our people that sacrificed. The Winnipeg Jets head coach, hopeful Scheifele and Stanisci can play on Tuesday. A very good team running into a little bit of key injuries. They can sustain it, though. They've got a pretty good depth team.
Yeah, they do. But how long can they sustain?
We'll find out.
That's the question. It's going to be, if I hope it's a short stint, because I don't know if it's long, it's going to prove to be deadly.
Absolutely. Let's go over to the NFL. And in the NFL, we like to follow the Buffalo Bills. Hopefully, at some point, Eduardo will be able to go down to check them out, get some interviews and stuff, and talk to some of the Bills and see how the excitement is firsthand. Except for yesterday against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think the Buffalo team's goaltending wasn't very good. They lost 9-6.
Well,
9-6.
That's what happens. That's
9-6.
Yeah, I know.
The Sabres score more.
Yeah, but that's what happens when you underestimate your opposition.
That's terrible. I mean, 12 penalties is a good excuse, but I mean, personal fouls, turnovers. They had plenty of chances to win. They just couldn't do it.
The Jaguars showed what they are made of, finally, because they haven't been playing at par all season long.
4 sacks, Allen's a good quarterback, but he has to be on his feet.
Yeah. I am actually happy, to tell you the truth, that Buffalo lost, because now they'll get back on the idea that, hey, look what can happen when we overestimate our opposition.
No, they definitely could have played better, and they definitely should have had a better result. Coach McDermott is going to have some interesting conversation with his team. They've been notoriously slow this year. They've had a lot of slow starts, Eduardo. And is that because maybe is that why you say that they're overconfident? They think they can win the game just by, stepping on the field instead of putting in the work?
That's right. I mean, think about it. They came out in the preseason and they said, the Coach McDermott said strictly, he said, we are the team to defeat in the East. And I said, I want, I don't want to say that the Buffalo is not a good team, but there is better teams out there. And they have been lucky that they didn't lose games, lose some more games because of that overestimation. They had some close games in the past 3 weeks.
Absolutely. I'll go to the other football, soccer, MLS. Vancouver makes the playoffs, Eduardo. I believe they're the only Canadian team to make it this time. Montreal was close.
Yeah, Montreal was close, but they blew it at the end.
Absolutely.
Vancouver surprises me because they started the season very low.
They got rid of their coach.
They started the season very, very bad. But that it shows you the difference a coach can make, and it shows you the difference that when the players feel confident with the coach they have.
Absolutely.
And that's what didn't happen with Toronto. Toronto chose the wrong coach, and they acted very late so that TFC couldn't come back to make the playoffs.
Absolutely. Major League Baseball handing out their awards. The highlights in your mind, Eduardo?
Oh, a bunch of them. So let's start going down the list because it's an amazing list. And I want to start because we are in Toronto. I want to start with Marcus Simeon, our second baseman. Coincidentally, one of our free agents that we have to sign this offseason, winning the Golden
Second
Glove at
base.
second base.
Yep.
As well, we if let's go to first base. Yuli Gurriel, brother of Lourdes, who plays for the Astros at first base, wins that Golden Glove. The biggest surprise of this of the Golden Gloves for me is Sean Murphy. He beat out Martin Maldonado and Salvador Perez. Salvador Perez, the Triple Crown winner of this year in Major League Baseball, from the Royals. And then you get a very interesting pick on Dallas Keuchel as for pitcher. He beat Jose Berrios of the Jays out and Zach Greinke of the Astros. The biggest story of the year in the free agent market for this season, Carlos Correa wins the Golden Glove at shortstop. Matt Chapman of the Athletics wins got the third base Golden Glove. And then you get into the outfield, and it was almost a sweep by the Royals. Both Michael Taylor and Andrew Benedetti win the Golden Glove for the Royals. The only change was Joey Gallo in right field. And we'll go through the National League now, and we have pitcher Max Fried, MVP Max Fried, to say the least, from the Braves, winning the Golden Glove in there, beating out Zach Davies and Zach Wheeler. Catcher was given to Joe Stallings, who I am surprised because he beat out probably the two best catchers in Major League Baseball in JT Realmuto and Yadier Molina. Paul Goldschmidt wins for the Cardinals at first base over Freddie Freeman and Max Muncy of the Dodgers. Tommy Edman beats Ozzie Albies from the Braves, who is considered one of the best fielders at second base. Brandon Crawford, great season he had, wins the shortstop Golden Glove. Switching from Colorado to the Cardinals, we have Nolan Arenado, and that's a unanimous decision. He's going to probably win every Golden Glove from here till eternity. So that's a name that you will see probably forever.
Fantastic.
In left field, you have the Cardinals with Tyler O'Neill winning the Golden Glove there. Harrison Bader, the center fielder for the Cardinals, takes out takes the Golden Glove for center field, and Adam Duvall of the Braves takes the right field Golden Glove. But one of the things that is interesting to see is that for the first time in the history of the game of baseball, 5 players from one single team in the Cardinals won Golden Gloves. So it's a great merit to the Cardinals for doing great scouting.
Good for them. Okay, let's leave it there, Eduardo. And just one quick story. COVID, the borders are opening, that were closed are opening. That, of course, is the U.S. border, the Canadian border. Really important to a lot of border town mayors who believe the business that's done at the border is very important to the local people in Canada and, in fact, in the U.S. It's about time it's opening. I know you have some pessimistic views of our COVID numbers. We need to be careful.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I agree with the mayors. It needs to be open, but we also have to measure the impact of what that's going to cost. Today, the numbers rose to 600, and that's a big number. Uh, it has been increasing day by day with more cases, and the amount of cases it doesn't is not as bad as the increase in the number of deaths that are we are getting. So that's what worries me, and I don't want the closure because, but if I think we are heading that way, probably by the end of the year.
Oh, well, let's hope it works out. Eduardo, thank you for doing this. I really appreciate it.
No problem, my friend.
For Eduardo Harari, I'm Candid Frank Stanisci. Thank you for watching Candid Frank Live, airing Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Of course, Fridays is Leaf Talk. This show can also be heard on the Spanglish World Radio Network for Candid Frank Live and other news, entertainment, and sports programming we offer. Please check out spanglishworld.ca. Spanglish World. Watch it, hear it, read it, download it, and live it. Thanks for your watching. Ciao for now.